What's up, you guys? Welcome back to a new video. If you're new here, my name is Adriana Montanez. Lifestyle, homeschool, gym, fitness, health, just a little bit of everything. I am a stay-at-home mom. That's pretty much what this whole channel emphasizes. So if you are new here, I would love to have you as a subscriber. If you're returning, you're amazing and I love you. So today's topic, I actually want to talk about this. This is something that hits really close to home, and I do struggle with this from time to time. But I want to talk about why I feel, in my opinion, that stay-at-home moms are hated. I've been getting a lot of hate lately because some of the content I've been putting out there, or just questionnaires on TikTok. I've been getting some hate in the DM. This whole idea of stay-at-home moms are privileged. No. So if you want to hear what I got to say, please keep watching. So we are in my closet right now. I don't know if I said that in the other frame, but I wasn't going to film this video. Yes, I got a full beat face of makeup. It is late at night, but I feel like I just need to film this tonight just because it's on my heart and I just want to get it out there. And hopefully this could uplift some other woman out there. I'm not your regular stay-at-home mom, okay? I am an athlete. I'm training. I'm doing the homeschool. I'm doing outside nonprofit projects that are really close to my heart, and hopefully I can do something bigger with them in time. And if you're a stay-at-home mom and you feel like you're just a stay-at-home mom and you're nothing, or you have other women that are in your face that are questioning, just like, well, you're at home, like that doesn't count. Who runs the household? Who cooks the food? Who's washing the dishes? Who's doing everything else? You are. You are. And especially if you're a homeschool parent, it's a whole nother load, because not only are you the provider, the nurturer, the doctor, the teacher, it's endless, and you don't get to check out. You don't get to clock out whenever you feel like it. It's continuous. It's unplanned. It's 24/7, 7 days a week. I feel like this whole new world order when it comes to feminism is destroying that, because I feel like, not only do I feel like modern feminism today is garbage, it's trash, but more importantly, I think it's more anti-woman and anti-mother than anything. Because according to at least feminists, you need to be on the corporate ladder. You should be working that 9 to 5. You shouldn't be home taking care of your child. Your child should be in a daycare. But when people want their children to, when they have their children and they're growing up, it's like, wouldn't you want your child to be a reflection of you to a certain extent? They're not going to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. But you want to raise them with good morals and values. And this is going to get touchy too, but whether you choose to put your children in homeschool, whether you put them in public school or whatever, I chose to do homeschool. I never thought I was going to be a homeschool parent, let alone would I ever think I was going to be a mother. But from everything that's been happening in the last couple of years, and this whole awakening of 2020 and this whole pandemic, I knew for a fact in my heart I could not send my child. But I knew I was going to stand out. I knew things were going to be different. I decided not to go back to work. I didn't want somebody else raising my child. And I can't tell you how many times I always get somebody just like, oh, we're stay at home, or they think they could just call you at whatever time, when really I'm nonstop. My morning starts early. It goes all the way. Like right now, it is 10:30 in the evening. I could be chilling, watching a movie and unwinding, but I feel like I need to put this message out there, because if this could hit somebody and one other woman, that's all that matters. We need to support and we need to encourage one another. And I just want to share this too. Like, I went out earlier and I can't tell you how many comments I got coming at me with, well, well, you're a stay-at-home. Like, how are you so busy? And I do things differently. I'm not a regular stay-at-home mom who's just gonna, and this is no disrespect, because I know there's some out there like this. I'm not coming for you, okay? But I just said to myself, I don't want to lose myself. I want to be a better version as I get older. I want to be in better health. I don't think a stay-at-home mom for me is, I don't want to be wearing an oversized t-shirt, eating bonbons, just chilling. No, I'm motivated. And if you follow me on social media, on Instagram, I'm a huge athlete. I lift. I enjoy lifting. It's a passion of mine. But I didn't want to lose myself when I became a stay-at-home parent. And you know what I noticed when I made these changes, just being a stay-at-home mother? You do become more isolated, because I remember I would go out to certain girls, like my girlfriends that were in my wedding, girls that I used to chill with as friends, girls that I thought were always going to be in my life. Like, we'd go out to eat and they're all talking about their jobs. Mind you, their kids were in daycare. Their kids were by in-laws. Their kids were being watched by other people. I always had my baby with me. My husband and I would tag team because we didn't feel comfortable with anyone, let alone we don't really have anybody. We live a very military lifestyle, so we're very isolated, and we're just really protective for our child. We're not perfect parents, trust me. We have our days where we want to shave our head and just not be about it, and you lose your temper just like anybody else. Like, we're human, we're not perfect, but we're very protective and we're very woke. But I remember I'd be sitting around all these girls and I didn't feel related to them. They're like, oh, so what did you do today? If I said like, oh yeah, I trained, I had to run a bunch of errands, they're just like, oh. Like, there was nothing. And my mental health started to take a huge toll. And I feel like that's not talked about. And I never had anxiety until I had a baby. You know, it was a really dark time when I had a child because, you know, my husband had to work. I don't have a relationship with my father. I wasn't talking to my sister. My sister and I just started talking after 7 years. My mom and I were in this up and down because my mom was battling her own depression and her own episodes, you know. So I was really to myself. I didn't have this support system like that you see in like all these movies. I had to figure it out for myself. And as time went by too, like, I just knew for a fact, like, I couldn't go to work again and I couldn't let somebody else watch my child. And even like my husband and I, when we would talk about it, he was just like, why are we going to pay X amount of dollars for this other person or in this facility? You know, and things happen everywhere. They happen anywhere. They've even happened when you hire nannies. Like, I understand things do happen, but we really need to be hypersensitive. But I just wanted to just say this to the women that are struggling out there. Just know that you're doing an amazing job and you're doing what more women, I feel like, should be doing for their children. I understand we live in a time where, you know, we got to pull our own weight and whatnot. But if you can do it and you can be at home with your children and raise them, especially during this political climate and the grooming, sexualizing our children younger, the trafficking and everything, I think you're doing an amazing job. You're doing an amazing job because nobody's going to ride for your kid harder than you. Nobody. And I just hate this whole like level two. Like, there's no religion anymore. Like, when I got married, it's for better or for worse. It's ride or die. Now it's just like, well, you know, you're married, it's not working, you could just divorce, whatever, and it's a fight through. There's no, it's like when you become one, it's like that. No, that's old school. That's tradition. Like, that's like, who does that anymore? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I just feel like not only do I feel like my soul feels outcasted, like I don't feel like I align with a lot of people. It's really hard to. If anything, the road's gotten really dark and lonely. But I know deep in my heart that I'm doing something right and I'm doing what I'm fortunate that I could do. Even if I have the opportunity to go back and I'm making 6 figures or whatever the case is, that doesn't trade me raising my child the way I'm raising him, because he's so young, he's so little, he's so innocent. And I don't want nobody to change that but me. Or if you feel any type of toxicity, you feel like you have to defend yourself with anybody, whether it's a relative, friends, girlfriends, it really doesn't matter. Don't be afraid to step back, because you shouldn't have to defend on the choices that you make in your lifestyle, especially when it comes to your children. I feel like the stay-at-home moms walk a different road. It doesn't mean we're better. I think if anything, it's more of a lonely road, but it's also a very rewarding road because not everybody gets to do it. I remember I needed a babysitter years ago when I got my foot reconstruction when my son just turned 2. And by the grace of God, I met this beautiful, sweet, older lady nurse. She had 5 children. She came from a very abusive, narcissistic marriage. She used to get beaten in her marriage. I used to feel so down because I had a lot of depression when Malachi was 2 years old and I had postpartum. That was real because I didn't love myself. I felt so disconnected with myself. And she would always tell me, you are doing what I wish I did. I used to leave my children at home with my husband, and I'd come home drunk to 5 kids. And she ended up nannying over 6 years old, you know, just being a part-time nanny because she enjoys it. And I was able to have her with me for about a year, you know, just part-time, just help me as a babysitter because I didn't have anybody. And I always get the whole like, well, why do you need a babysitter if you stay at home? Because I still have dreams and aspirations that I'm working on, but I'm working on them part-time on my downtime. You don't owe yourself anything. But when the women that are working 9 to 5, they get a lunch break, right? But a stay-at-home mom, you get a lunch break when your kid lets you get a lunch break, okay? But we make it work. But you make it work, and that's what it's about. I need you to stop trying to justify of what you're doing and trying to sell it to anybody. Because at the end of the day, nobody walks your shoes. Nobody knows what you go through. Nobody knows those struggles. The only ones that matter, that may count, not only as long as your children are okay, but it makes the friends that actually hit you up and to say, yo, how are you feeling? Or, hey, girl, you got some downtime. When your man gets home, you want to get a cup of coffee? You want to get some donuts? You want to do a Target run and go get some Starbucks? Don't feel bad about it. The littlest rewards are all us mothers enjoy. Simplicity. So if you have anybody trying to come for you, if anything, baby, they're just jealous because they're not on your level. But I just want to put this out there, and just to the women that are staying home with their children, they're making different life choices, and whatever aspect that is, just know that you're doing something right. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one.